As fans, we all love trades. Whether it's the midseason trade deadline or in the offseason, we're always looking for the where were you when insert player name was traded. Shout out to Mavericks and Nico Harrison for the most recent one with Luka. My God. Besides the point, as NFL fans, we haven't had one of those since A.J. Brown was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles back in 2022. So this begs the question, who are the guys that will be traded to new teams this offseason? The 49ers are in a weird situation coming off a season from hell, with injuries to nearly every important player on the roster, and some moves need to be made. I think it starts with trading wide receiver Deebo Samuel, who they already gave permission to seek a trade. Deebo has not seen the same production since his 2021 breakout year, nearing 1,800 scrimmage yards and 14 touchdowns. Since then, he has not had a season over 900 receiving yards or a season over 250 rushing yards. 2024 was Samuel's worst season to date, posting a career-low PFF grade at 70.9, besides an injury-riddled 2020, lowest in yards, touchdowns, and yards per game. Deebo needs to find a new role in a new environment at the age of 29 because the 49ers already planned on him leaving in the 2026 offseason, drafting Ricky Pearsall in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft and involving Jawan Jennings in the offense a lot more, so now they'll try to get some assets for the aging star. At 29, Deebo has a few more years left to resurrect his production. Who are some teams that could use Deebo as the gadget receiver he really is? Any team, but I like the Los Angeles Chargers. They're a team that runs the ball at the 10th highest rate in the league and can get Deebo involved in several creative ways. Jim Harbaugh loves his running backs and loves to run the ball. Why not add a guy like Deebo who can catch it or run with it and get downfield with his physicality? Any wide receiver needy playoff contender should give a call and see what the 49ers price is, but teams like the Patriots or Panthers should stay away due to age and injury concerns. Another team that could look into trading for Deebo is the Las Vegas Raiders. Due to their hiring of Pete Carroll, I think Tom Brady and the ownership group in Vegas wants to win now, so take the veteran receiver to pair with Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers to let soon-to-be Raider Russell Wilson cook. Not that we haven't heard that before. The last team that could trade for Deebo is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Justin Fields needs weapons alongside George Pickens. As a franchise stuck in mediocrity, why not take on Deebo's contract to try to actually contend for a divisional round loss instead of a wildcard loss? A package for Deebo is a third-round pick, most likely conditional with a chance to become a second if he hits incentives like snap percentage or something along those lines. Guys, I know the NFL season is over, but if you're someone like me who likes to play some money on a guy to get higher than his points, rebounds, or to hit a home run, there's no better place to do it than Underdog. Underdog is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. All you have to do is pick between 2 to 8 players, pick higher or lower on their stat, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. If you sign up with code Fanatics, you get up to $1,000 in bonus credit and a free pick. Again, that is code Fanatics. Tonight, I have LaMelo Ball higher than points, Jaren Jackson higher than points, Paul George lower than rebounds. Again, sign up with code Fanatics, copy that entry, let me know if you cash. Next up is 2023 first-round defensive tackle Mazi Smith. The Cowboys set this man up to fail from the second they hired Mike Zimmer. He took a 330, 340-pound interior defensive lineman that could eat space up in the run game, made him get to 300, and at times in the offseason the 290s, who tried to completely switch his game up to a pass-rushing defensive tackle. That is not who he is, and Mike Zimmer tried to force that upon him. He was seen as a raw physical freak coming out of college, which makes his weight loss inexplicable from the coaching staff. He was unable to maintain his gaps, was basically a non-factor for Dallas in 2024. This was a recipe for disaster for a young man who was not used to playing at that weight or play style. With Mike Zimmer now out of the building, it is time to move on from Mazi. Mazi so far has not put up great stats, nothing close to that, but it cannot all be attributed to him. Only tallying 16 pressures so far in his 2-year career, it is time for him to go back up in weight and get shipped off to a team in need of a space eater like Dontari Poe or Vince Wilfork in the run game. I think the Carolina Panthers or Arizona Cardinals are great spots. Both teams are in need of defensive line help, depth, or starter, so why not send a late-round pick to Dallas in exchange for a former first-round pick who will only be 24 when the season starts? Low-risk move for any team that trades for him. Christian Kirk is a name that you may not think of when players who will be traded comes up, but it makes a lot of sense. He has a $24 million cap hit in 2025 and is not producing at that level, nor at the level he was at between 2022 and 2023, not even mentioning the injuries. Makes sense for a young bad team like the Jaguars to get off an expiring contract of a veteran receiver who could still make an impact in the league, but hopefully not on this team. Jacksonville just signed Gabe Davis to a 3-year deal last offseason, and while he did absolutely blow for the Jags, you still have too much money invested in a below-average wide receiver room, which has 2024 draft stud Brian Thomas headlining the crew. Again, teams like the Chargers, Raiders, Steelers, and Broncos can make a push for the 28-year-old veteran slot receiver that can make an impact, if healthy, on a contender or a team trying to make a playoff push in 2025. He has been one of the best at creating separation against single coverage,
having a 79.4% separation percentage. So any team will be happy to trade a day 3 pick for Kirk and take on his contract for just a 1-year deal. The last trade candidate for the 2025 offseason is Browns cornerback Greg Newsome. The former 2021 first-round pick played well as their cornerback 2 behind Denzel Ward his first 2 years, posting solid coverage grades of 70.6 and 72.3. But since then, and especially in 2024, he has fallen off a cliff. And yes, the Browns as an organization have been a dumpster fire in those years, but the point stands that he's not playing up to first-round expectations, especially someone being paid $13.4 million on his 5th-year option. He's a poor tackler, having a missed tackle rate of 24.3% in 2024, and he also allowed 120.7 passer rating. It's a shot in the dark a cornerback needy team might have to make, and it might be in their best interest to get him out of the slot and put him back to outside corner where he played his best ball. Teams like the Atlanta Falcons, Pittsburgh Steelers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Indianapolis Colts, and the Minnesota Vikings should call Andrew Berry and see if there's a deal that could be made. I think the Vikings make the most sense for Newsome. They have a great defensive scheme that can benefit Greg and anyone can fit into, and I think it's the type of place that could resurrect his career. He will only be 25 at the start of the season, and that means he's worth taking a shot on for some organization in need of cornerback depth, or a possible starter on the outside that can, but should not primarily, play slot. Newsome is a guy with a lot of potential at a very young age. Why not take a shot on a guy like him? There are some more obvious names who will be traded this offseason, like we thought Matthew Stafford would be, but he just restructured his deal with the Rams today, and guys like Myles Garrett or Cooper Kupp will be traded at some point this year. But these are some guys I think are flying under the radar when it comes to trade talks. Now, Deebo does have permission to seek a trade, but the other 3 guys definitely are flying under the radar and could become impact pieces on another team.
And with all that being said, that is it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning into Fanatic Sports. If you made it this far to the video, come on, give it a like, subscribe to the channels, all sports, very much appreciated, helps me out more than you know. Comment down below where you think guys will be traded and who else you think could be traded. And also, follow me on Instagram at FanaticSports25 and on X and TikTok at Fanatic Sports. This is Joe of Fanatic Sports, signing off.